Morning and welcome to Picks on Politics. I'm Ayanna Harry in for Dan Manarino. We begin this morning with the Supreme Court's decision to strike down New York's concealed carry law. The law required people to show proper cause to get a license to carry a concealed weapon outside of the home. New York leaders were quick to speak out against the decision.
While we're still analyzing the decision, we can say with certainty this decision has made every single one of us less safe from gun violence.
However, other leaders like Congressman and candidate for governor Lee Zeldin support the Supreme Court ruling. Zeldin tweeted after the decision saying he was proud to, quote, sign on to the amicus brief in support of the NYSRPA and in defense of constitutional rights of law-abiding New Yorkers who have long been attacked shall not be infringed. Following this decision, there are many New Yorkers concerned with their safety. I want to bring in New York State Senator Zellnor Myrie. Senator, thank you for joining us for Picks on Politics.
Great to be with you.
This was a decision that many Democratic leaders did not want to see come down, but the result was expected. Have lawmakers been preparing for this decision, and if so, how?
Ayanna, we have. The sad reality is that this is one of the most lethal and deadly decisions that this court has rendered in our lifetimes. We knew it was coming, but we could not speak publicly given the possibility that the court might be influenced by what members of the legislature said. But we are working very diligently, digesting the opinion, speaking with experts in the field, and talking to our communities about how best to respond to this. Make no question, we will respond. We will do so swiftly, but we have to do so in a way that comports with the parameters laid out by the court.
Senator Myrie, you championed the gun industry liability law that allows victims of gun violence to sue manufacturers. Tell us about that, and is that law now impacted by the SCOTUS decision?
Well, the good news on that law that we passed last July is that a couple of weeks ago, the federal court in the Northern District of New York said that this law was constitutional. It said that New Yorkers have the right to protect themselves from weapons coming in from other places in the state or outside of the state. But this Supreme Court ruling gives me pause on many of our gun regulations. The court is grounding its analysis in what they call historical tradition. But historically, we have done a lot of things that this country has been ashamed of. And we have changed the law when the times have changed. What this decision does is roll it all the way back to our founding and says that any regulation that does not look like what the regulations looked like back then are now suspect. And that should strike fear in every New Yorker's heart.
And Senator Myrie, does this decision impact the recently signed gun legislation that all of you just passed in Albany?
Unfortunately, it may. We don't know. The opinion that was released by the court last week is unprecedented in its scope. This is new territory for lawyers, new territory for those who care about gun safety. So there may be a lot of things that are on the table. And if you are someone that is happy about this ruling, you are going to take this ruling and use it to attack many of the gun safety regulations that keep us safe every day. It is incredibly, incredibly worrisome.
I know gun violence is an urgent issue in your district, really throughout the state. What do you say now to New Yorkers who are concerned about their safety?
This is one of the toughest things to swallow about this opinion, is that when I go out to my community and they ask me, what are you doing about gun violence? And I respond that the Supreme Court actually has a different view of what safety is. An unelected Supreme Court, 6 judges that never have to face the voters, never have to explain themselves. It is very disheartening and it's frustrating for the community, but we can't let that frustration allow us to give up. So we will continue to fight, not just here in Brooklyn, but we will be taking it to the halls of Albany, and we will be doing everything legislatively possible to continue to keep our people safe.
Thank you, State Senator Zellnor Myrie, for joining Picks on Politics.